All right, this is going to be a short video of an hour, just going over my repair and reassembly of this 4010S unit. From looking on YouTube, there's plenty of videos on how to tear these apart. I'm going to go over placement of the belt, fixing the pinch roller. Was a little stuck, but wasn't frozen as some of them you get, but another way of taking them off. Some people have you remove, or mostly remove the heads, but you can actually just remove the screw from the back, and you'll see that, pull it out. If you can get it apart, you can clean it, re-lube it, put it back together. In my case, I'm just using materials I have around for other projects, but the Teac definitely helps, along with the CRC and cleaner to clean some things up. I'm not a professional by any means, so take your time. As you watch the video, I did redo a few things as I went through it, but show the corrections as I went. So the first explanation may not have been the ending explanation, so be sure to watch that segment, each segment all the way through before you attempt this yourself. But the mechanics are fairly simple, straightforward if you have a troubleshooting mindset. Electronics require a little more expertise, and I'll learn those as we go. But hopefully you'll enjoy this, learn something from it, and go from there. All right, so to start with, I forgot to do the recording of teardown, which I did that the day before. But here's the maintenance that I did and putting it back together, testing and adjusting. All right, so we've removed this screw, this screw, this screw here, and the two screws over here that hold on this assembly. So the whole thing comes up. The spring goes on right here, and you can fish this out. If this isn't bound up, the back end of this, the spindle, is a screw right here. So if it's not bound up, you should be able to get this out fairly easily. As you can see, it doesn't really go in that well. It's a little tight, and so you can usually just push it out. At least I was able to push it out through here, and then use a punch, which I don't have it up here right now, but use a punch to push it all the way out, like a brass punch, a gunsmith's punch or something like that, and push it through. And coming it out, we'll clean that. The back end of this goes in the axle here underneath, so you'll need to fish that back on. And as far as this is concerned, this here, I already replaced this, but basically push the brake down and fish it through here. If the other one's broken, you just pull it out. And the new one, here's the old one. You just stick it on here, then push the brake down and work its way in, and then fish it through here. And you may need to use some bent awls or something like that to get it up on the wheel. There's a groove part here, which it gets in. You'll have to finagly hand on there. And there's also a groove part on the back here on the axle that you'll need to fix it. And so once it's done, you can check operation just by turning this and turn the wheels. So yeah, it's fairly easy, just like this. Kind of work its way down. Use a piece of plastic or something, push it down carefully and through. Now, as far as this is concerned, I'm going to go ahead and clean it. Since I have it off, the main reason I had taken this apart was, one, the belt was dead, but two is the pinch roller wasn't moving very freely. And so I'll fix that by cleaning that. Right now, let's use the alcohol. And then these are a little different than regular Q-tip. They're a little bit longer. Again, you can get these at various locations. You can get them on Amazon, but they're actually used typically for gunsmithing and cleaning firearms. But this, it's a little harder, and it doesn't leave the residue or the. It's not as likely to leave some of the Q-tip behind. Nice thing about these too, they're pointed so you can get into small spaces. Since it's got the feet on it, I went ahead and laid it down. If you're in the US, this is going to be the side you need to make sure you clean. Unlikely it was attached to that already. This one's for the 50 hertz on this side. Clean it anyway, real quick. The switch here, if you look at it, it's got 50 and 60 in it. So in the US, you want it on 60 for our electrical system here. So it's still fairly dirty. I got most of it off. It came off pretty easy. We'll get this too. Go and toss that one. Start over with another. These are fairly inexpensive. I think I got a thing of like 500 of them. Not very much. All right. Turn this off. Actually, it wasn't too dirty. But inside. That one's more nasty. If you want to, you can use a pipe cleaner probably on this as well. Just make sure it doesn't have steel or anything in it. Abrasives. Here's the clean one just to be sure. So that works now. All right, it moves a lot better. Turns freely. I couldn't move it by hand before at all. And always use the alcohol pad. I'm going to do that too. Actually, easier to get that. So make sure. Looks pretty clean. Clean this up anyway. Not too bad. Alright, so I've gone down and got the pipe cleaners. This is called a tactical pipe cleaner. It's used on rifles to clean out the gas tube. Anyway, so we're going to grab the this. Should fit in there just fine. It's got a wire down the middle, but the outside doesn't have any wire in it. Just go ahead and dip it in there and get it cleaned really good. So the other way, clean it off. I suppose since it's aluminum or whatever, you could probably use some CLP or something like that in there as well. Actually, I wouldn't. It's going to leave oil. You just want the grease. Let that dry for a second. Alright. So I'm in here. Everything else looks pretty good in here. I've already sprayed all the pots and everything. All this seems to be working pretty good. Looks like that guy kind of got stuck. So this kind of stuck to here. Get off carefully, right from the heat. Yeah. Looks like they had a little glue or something in there. It's fine. So you just, that's for this. Little thing right there. Looks fine. Okay. The other piece I need to do is this guy right here. This was not turning freely. Then I'm going to take that off from the back as well. Ooh, it's better. I lubed it the other day. And it is working. Just spraying it with, I'm pretty sure I just sprayed it with this only. I just got my deoxit today. That's a lot better. I'm going to hit it with the deoxit anyway. In here. That was pleasant. And when I feel the spring tension, it's actually going back. Like it should. Leave. Otherwise, I was going to pull this off and clean it really good from the back, but I think we'll be fine. Alright, this should be done by now. We'll put a little bit of lithium grease on here. This particular stuff, get up to 750 degrees. It should be fine. Shouldn't take that much. Drop that in there. Excess. Should be just fine. Put this back on this head washer and a spring clip. Size of things are great, but sometimes they don't work very well. There we go. Turns freely. So before I put that in, I'm going to go ahead and thread my new belt. Did one in here since it's good. I'm going to go ahead and save it, and it's labeled. Actually, it's not labeled, so I'll write down there later what it belongs to. So for this, since this is all loose, laying on a spec is a lot easier. Just fish it under there. Alright, so some of the guys have you pulling this all apart. I don't believe that's necessary. Key is going to get all that lined up. Make sure you're inside of all the screw thingies. But laying this on the side makes things a lot easier. I have my pull things around. Alright, so I'm just going to leave this loose right now. So I can get the screw holes back in, but you want to make sure you're all it's not hung up anything, any of that. I'll go and stick this back in. See, here's going like this. Push under here. So, like that. I'm probably going to have to, see what's going on here. Step out of the way, these tops. So, we need to. All right, so this is the guy right here. All right, so we're just going to lift this guy up. Oh, these things are heavy. We'll see in here a little better this way too. See what's going on, but when I get that screw in, this is the bottom one. Alright, so as we get the back side of things, I put one screw back in here just to hold this. So I hit this on its back, it wouldn't fall off. Alright, so and here's a couple screws. Tough one is this one under here, these wires. You can actually push these up a little bit and get at that screw. This one down here was that guy right there, which had actually this one had a pretty good sized washer on it. So we're going to go and feed that through. You'll see it from the other side then. I think I got it. Yep. All right. That makes it snug. All right. So that was the fun part. We're going to go ahead and pack this back up temporarily. All right. Now, turn this around. Here's another piece. Right here, an edge of this is where that goes in. So, just gonna angle that on there. And I missed. Actually, lay this down, see what happens here. This guy back in. Okay. All right, so this thing's moving freely. All right, so I'm gonna have to loosen this on the back a little bit. I'm not gonna unscrew it all the way, so it keeps registered. Really long screws, so I should be able to loosen this enough.
And it should be good enough. This again. Why is it being so stubborn? Alright, so we're back to this again. Let's make sure this is clear. That's for here. So now, let's get that there. And there, perfect. Now, deal with that in a minute. Make sure it's loose. It should be. All right, so now we're gonna do this again. Hold this in place. Take things apart. It's going to be nice and tight. So these other ones when I'm in here. This guy. All right, so those are tight. Get the rest of these in now. Do this upside down. Okay. We're back to this again. The hard one's going to be right in there. It should be lined up. So it's a matter of getting all these in here again. So, here's this one. Fruit. This one here. She's right in here. Now this one's kind of funky. I'll show you in a minute. All right, like I was saying, you have to get way in here, barely visible. can't do it blindly. I think you got it. That's good. That's all of them. Here, so. Let's go back on. Oh yeah, I'll show you this. So what we've got going on here is this is upside down. This one is right in here. You can kind of get it, line it up in there. There's one right here. Get from this side. One here, one here. And then this one here is the one for the arm. And I'll use the large one. These aren't lined up quite nicely, so I'm going to fudge this. Get them all started. So obviously when you're taking this off, just do the outside ones. Here's a large screw, I think this is number 2. Yeah. You're less likely to strip the threads. They'll fit. Okay, that's all done. Alright, should be it for that. Put this up. Okay, everything should work. Oh, that's working very nice. Put this guy back. Yeah, so the problem here with a magnet, there's another piece of this. There's a magnet right here that holds this up. This needs a little bit of glue on it. Should fit right there. Well, theoretically it fits right there. I'm going to find it. Anyway, it'll sometimes stick to this here and it won't go up all the way because of the weight. We'll stick that right in there. Use some glue, hot glue. Or something like that. Double-sided tape would probably even work. This is working. What else do we have going on here? Got this guy here. Loose. That's fine. Okay, we need to stick this back in. Should work just fine. Yep. We're sending this right here. function. Yep. Clean that wire in here. Look at that. The rust. Let's get this back on before I forget. There's a little rubber thing right here. If I use anything for that, really. I'm going to lay this down first, though. This goes under. Actually, I'm going to wait on that because you get the magnet in there. This is kind of in the way. All right, this is working. Go ahead and clean. All right. All right, I'm back. So we're just going to use some Gorilla Glue here. Oh, it's happy to see me. Very small dab of that. Actually, we're going to some of that off here. Way too much on there. So the idea here is just to stick it back on there. And, yep. Let's see here. No, I didn't like that very much. All right, that one's 24 hours. Give it 24 hours. And yeah, use a clip. Find one. All right, back with a clip. So we're just gonna use clothespin. Hold that. That's good to me. All right, so now we can put this guy back on. Should be fine for now. Well, maybe not. Clip's gonna be in the way. Here's, oh. Okay. So now we've got this guy here. Let's make sure. Right, so this front part we need to make sure. And up. All the way around. So just move this guy, this. Around. Don't want to stretch this, so you be careful. Well, that was weird. Yeah, I just took a little finagling to get that unstuck. Anyway, so now I'm gonna match these up. And stretch it any more you need to. Down there. Sure it's nice and even. So if you're on the back one on the top, which is 60, back one on the bottom, that nice and even. All right. You're back together. Things should be functioning. Now we're going to run a test real quick. Okay, make sure off. Plug you in for that. Clean out. Now let's wait for that to dry and come back. All right, so now to finish up, take this off. It's working just perfectly. Yep. So I'm going to test this again. Here. Plug it in. Okay. Turn it on. Nice and quiet. Off. Okay, now it's just a matter of putting everything back. Put here, put this guy on. Goes back. Back using the wood type screws. Do that first. With the wood screws, just put them in, don't put them super tight. It'll strip them if they're not already stripped. Feel that these threads are already kind of there. So just kind of finger tight. Amazingly, I have all the screws. All right, now for the front, same thing. Just carefully put everything back in reverse order. So taking this apart, put it together, you can lay it down. You got the feet on the back like this one, or stand it up. To lay it down just makes things a little easier. Get this guy on there. And this carefully. Working. Seems to be in. Light. Alright, so now this is my all these back. Again, these are larger screws. I'll probably use a number 2. It's a 0 or a 1. So 1. That's a 2 as well. There we go. Here's the 1. That's a 1. And even though this is metal on metal, you want to strip them. A lot of aluminum in here, which is a huge strip. Up here, all these screws are the same. That one seems a little bit off, so we're going to loosen these. Not sure what's going on there. Actually looks like there's a few marks on there, like the person before me had a few issues with that. That's not it. I'll take those out and see what's going on there. That hole's not lining up. All the other ones line up though, that's weird. This is the bracket, so it should be fine. Definitely want to do that one first though. What will happen here, so sometimes the screws will bottom out and push up a little bit so they don't seat all the way. So using the larger screwdriver is sometimes a little bit better. Anyway, that one's kind of tight. Some of these models have a hole right here as well, which holds this arm on. In this case, it's just held on from the back. But if that's the case, I want to leave that alone from what I've read, but can't tell on this one. Like with anything, don't force it. Screw doesn't seem to fit. It's probably the wrong thread size, the wrong size screw, but most of these seem to be interchangeable. They're all the same length and everything. Okay, so that's that. We're gonna go ahead and put this on, which is just a pressure fit. That there. This is a spacer. The spacer goes right there when you're doing. Let's thread it on that. This going in here. Just like that. And then the arm goes in like this. Facing down, and throw this guy back on. Snug, everything's clean. Now we see to put these reels back on. Now, follow the directions for taking these off. You want to label these. You're not going to see this anyway. So those are your spacers. Put them on. Put the reel over it. And it's good to label them just in case you have a foobar and drop them. All right, silly me, I did put these on correctly, so this is the way they go. Not sure what I was thinking. These on. All right, so now, there we go. Okay, everything seems to be working. Lubed up. We'll load this up with some tape. Go ahead and load this on. Just go in here. And load this on. Feels a little loose. Let's see what's going on there. Loose enough. That's better. This on top of there, all the way around through this. Get it spliced on before I try to tension it. Okay.